Rain hammered the windshield like gravel, but Cole didn't slow the truck. Night in the Wyoming passes was dangerous. Only if you stopped he'd learned that the hard way overseas. In the passenger seat, Echo went rigid. The brindled shepherd had been half asleep, chin on his paws. Now his ears speared forward, eyes locked on the darkness ahead. A low, urgent whine vibrated in his chest. Easy, Cole muttered, checking the empty road. Nothing. Just sleep pine and black rock. Echo suddenly lunged, scraping at the glass teeth, bared not at the road but at the sky. Then the mountain rumbled, and the lights ahead went out all at once. Lightning forked across the ridge, bleaching the world white for a heartbeat. When the dark slammed back, Cole's pulse was already racing. Echo wasn't wrong often, almost never, and the way the dog was staring upward made the hair on Cole's arms rise. The shepherd shifted to the rear seat, bracing his paws, nose pressed to the back window, scanning the cliffs as if expecting something to drop from above. A sound rolled through the valley, then not thunder, not wind. A hollow metallic boom like a shipping container being dragged across stone. Too deliberate, too close. Cole killed the headlights. The world became a cold void. Echo's breathing quickened hot against his shoulder. He kept watching the sky. "What do you see, boy?" Cole whispered. A second boom answered him, closer, sharper. The ground shivered beneath the tires. Then, from somewhere beyond the next bend, a single orange flare flickered up and vanished as if swallowed. Cole's grip tightened on the wheel. Whatever was out there wasn't weather, and Echo had sensed it first. He put the truck in gear. He had to find out who sent up that flare and whether they were still alive. The flare's ghost still glowed behind Cole's eyes long after it vanished. As he eased the truck off the main road onto a narrow service trail, Echo shifted forward again, planting himself between the seats. His weight was warm against Cole's arm, steadying grounding, but the tension in the dog's body told him everything. Echo wasn't braced for a chase. He was braced for impact. "Yeah," Cole murmured. "I feel it too." Outside, sleet turned to snowflakes spiraling like ash. The wipers scraped across the glass in a tired rhythm. Beyond the beams of the truck's low lights, the world fell into blackness, thick enough to drown sound. Cole used to love nights like this. Quiet, predictable, uncomplicated. But that was before Afghanistan taught him how darkness could move. Before the blast. Before the silence afterward, his own self-chosen exile. Echo let out a soft chuff, the kind he used when he was trying to get Cole's attention without alarming him. Cole glanced over. "You're not gonna like it," he said softly. "But I'm stopping." He pulled off onto a shoulder carved into the mountain wall. The engine ticked as it cooled. Echo immediately pressed his nose to the cracked side window, inhaling the bitter mineral smell of snow on rock. To the west, the peaks of the Bighorn Range loomed like jagged teeth, an endless chain of slate-blue stone that had swallowed Cole whole the moment he'd moved here. He'd built his life into a pattern as sharp and narrow as these ridges work, solitude routine. Enough distance to keep the memories quiet, enough silence so nothing unexpected could find him. He had never seen a flare on this stretch of mountain. Not once. No hunters came this high. No campers dared the old logging roads this time of year. Someone breaking that rule meant one of two things: they were lost or running from something. Cole exhaled, watching his breath fog the cabin. Echo's tail thumped once on the seat. Not wagging. Signaling readiness. "Fine," Cole said. "Let's check it out." He reached for the parka thrown over the bench seat. It was thick canvas, worn soft at the elbows, the smell of smoke and pine embedded in the fibers. Echo nosed the fabric, then licked his cuff, something he only did before a job. Not a trick, a ritual. Cole opened the door. The wind knifed through him, instantly carrying the metallic scent of ice and something faintly sulfurous. The snow wasn't falling straight, it was twisting, funneling in slow, unnatural spirals. Echo sprang to the ground beside him, paws sinking a full inch into the powder. "Stay close," Cole said. Echo didn't need the instruction. He was already glued to Cole's hip. The mountain, the trail ahead, wound upward through dense Douglas firs and sinewy lodgepole pines. Their trunks creaked in the constant push of wind snow catching on the high branches like scattered embers. Far above, the clouds were tearing open, exposing glimpses of a bruised purple sky. Cole flipped on his headlamp. The beam pierced the dark like a blade, but only to a point. Beyond 20 yards, the world faded into a gray curtain. He'd made this climb 100 times, usually to clear deadfall or check on the old water main that fed his cabin. He knew every bend, every hazard, every route that threatened to twist an ankle. Tonight it felt like unfamiliar terrain. Echo's posture confirmed it, his tail low, but not tucked, his head angled slightly to the left, as if listening to something below hearing range. His breaths were quick, small puffs of fog. Cole crouched. "You got something," Echo didn't bark. He never barked without reason. Instead, he pushed forward, nose, low muscles taut, then paused and looked back. The message was clear: follow. They moved as one. Cole. As they climbed, Cole's mind wandered in the way it did, only when the cold numbed the edges of thought. Echo's footsteps crunched behind him, steady and rhythmic. Cole's own steps were heavier, his breath rasping faintly. He was older now, 42, running on a backbone of old stubbornness and the kind of strength that didn't show until you needed it. His hands bore scars from both war and woodwork. His left knee clicked when he bent too fast. His hair, once black, had taken on streaks of gray at the temples. His beard carried more silver than he'd admit, but his eyes, dark brown, deep-set, and usually quiet, held a vigilance he couldn't shake. One that refused to fade with time. He'd earned that vigilance the hard way. Time had carved his loneliness into something permanent, a place in his chest that had grown roots. He lived simply a cabin that smelled of cedar and coffee shelves, lined with tools instead of photos, and a dog who understood the language of silence better than any person ever had. Sometimes he wondered if Echo had saved him. Other times he wondered if Echo simply filled the void so he didn't have to name it. "Not tonight," he muttered, adjusting his pack strap. "Focus." Echo glanced back at him, eyes bright checking. Cole gave a small nod. They kept climbing. The ridge, 20 minutes in the scent, changed. Cole smelled it before he saw anything smoke sharp and acidic, mixed with something metallic, like hot wiring or burning insulation. Echo's hackles rose. He pressed closer to Cole's leg, then moved ahead, sniffing the air in sharp, frantic bursts. A sudden gust of wind funneled down the ridge, scattering snow from the branches. It carried with it a faint, distant sound, half cry, half clatter. Something human or close to it. Cole froze. Echo froze with him. Again the sound. A muffled shout swallowed by the storm. Cole's heart tightened. "Someone's up there." Echo took off at a sprint. "Echo, slow," Cole shouted, but the dog was already bounding through the drifts, tail snapping back and forth as he dodged fallen limbs and boulders. Cole followed, lungs burning from the altitude boots slipping in the fresh snow. The world narrowed to Echo's dark shape weaving through the trees ahead. Then the woods fell away. They stood at the edge of a clearing, a bowl-shaped hollow carved into the slope. At the center was a collapsed structure, old mining scaffolding twisted in on itself like broken ribs. The snow around it was disturbed, a chaotic mess of footprints and drag marks. Something heavy had been moved, or dragged. Echo skidded to a stop at the far side of the clearing. His nose hammered the ground, pulling him in fast circles before he snapped his head sharply toward the ridge wall. Cole's breath fogged in a long exhale. "Show me." Echo padded to the rock face. Cole followed, and then he saw it. A streak of fresh blood ran down the stone, frozen into thin, glassy rivulets. Cole's stomach dropped, not from the sight, but the pattern. Vertical, high to low, like someone had slipped or fallen. The dog pressed his head to Cole's thigh, whining in a frequency so low it vibrated through the parka. "Easy," Cole whispered, though his throat felt tight. He lifted his headlamp beam upward. High on the cliff face, 20, maybe 25 feet up, a torn scrap of fabric flapped in the wind. Bright orange. The flare. Or the person who'd fired it. Echo backed up, pacing eyes flicking between Cole and the shattered mining structure, as if urging him to see something else. "What is it?" Cole murmured. Echo barked sharp, single, precise. The dog ran to the edge of the clearing again, sniffed the air, circled, then sprinted toward the tree line opposite. Cole followed Boots, skidding in the churned snow. Echo stopped at the base of a tree, a lone twisted pine, whose roots snaked through exposed rock. There, half buried in the drift, lay a backpack. Not old, not weather-worn, new. Blue nylon straps ripped, as if torn from the wearer. Cole knelt and brushed off the snow. Inside a crushed water bottle, a scorched piece of fabric, a pair of torn gloves, and a radio military-grade battered but still blinking weakly. Cole's breath caught. The sight of that radio hit him like a fist. "Of all things," he whispered. Echo nudged his elbow, impatient. His tail swept once, then stilled, waiting for the next command. "Hold on," Cole murmured, turning the radio over. The display flickered static, buzzing across the frequency. He adjusted the dial. A voice crackled through. "Anyone. Copy. Ridge. Collapse. Trapped." The words were faint, distorted by distance and interference, but unmistakably human. Echo barked again, ears snapping forward. Cole stood pack in hand. "Someone's alive. The wind howled through the clearing, kicking up spirals of snow. Echo planted himself in front of Cole, waiting for direction. Muscles coiled. Cole tightened his grip. "Let's move." Grace note. As they pushed deeper into the woods, the wind briefly lulled. Snow settled on their shoulders like soft dust. For a moment, just a thin, fragile moment, the mountain exhaled. The trees stilled. The storm quieted. Cole slowed breath, forming gentle clouds. Echo stopped and looked back at him, head-tilted eyes, warm and questioning. Cole touched the side of the dog's face, fingers brushing the soft fur behind his ear. Echo closed his eyes briefly, leaning into the pressure. "Good boy," Cole whispered. Not as a command, as a truth. Then Echo perked up again, listening. The storm winds shifted, carrying something faint, a sound just on the edge of hearing, a voice, calling for help. Echo pivoted, muscles bunching. Cole squared his shoulders, jaw tightening. "Lead," he said. Echo launched forward into the dark trees. Cole followed straight toward whoever waited in the cold, and toward whatever had torn the night open in the first place. Echo tore through the underbrush like a guided missile, silent, except for the crunch of snow and the snap of brittle twigs under his paws. Cole kept pace as best he could, lungs burning, boots fighting the steep grade. The cold thinned the air, shaving the edges off each breath until they felt sharp. "Echo, slow," Cole called. The dog responded instantly, dropping speed but not direction. He kept his head low, tracking the faint broken trail of scent that the wind hadn't yet stolen. Every few seconds he'd pause ears, rotating, then adjust left or right by inches, like threading a needle through the dark. Cole trusted that instinct more than he trusted most people. The storm had torn the mountain apart the night before. Branches lay twisted like wreckage. Loose rock shifted underfoot. The air held that eerie, washed-clean quiet that followed disaster. Then Echo froze. His whole body locked, one paw raised. His tail stiffened parallel to the ground. Cole halted immediately. "Talk to me." Echo made a low, questioning rumble, then stepped forward slower, now more cautious. Cole followed his gaze. A narrow ravine opened ahead, carved by decades of melting snow. The walls were sheer, the drop sudden 8, maybe 10 feet, and at the bottom, buried in drifts, Cole saw a collapsed shape. At first, just a dark mound. Then movement, a twitch, a weak flailing of an arm. A person. Cole slid down the bank, grabbing at jutting roots to control the descent. Echo bounded after him, skidding to the bottom in a spray of snow. "Hey!" Cole shouted over the wind. "I'm coming down, don't move." A strained voice answered, thin and raspy. "Here, down here." Cole knelt beside the figure, a young man mid-20s at most. Snow crusted his jacket. Blood matted one side of his forehead. His left leg twisted in a way that made Cole's stomach tighten. "Don't try to sit up," Cole said. "Let me check you." The man flinched as Cole examined him. "Rope, radio died." "I thought—" "You're lucky," Cole murmured. "This could have been worse." The injured stranger sucked in a sharp breath as Cole gently lifted his leg. The pain reaction was immediate. "Fracture," Cole muttered. "Maybe a break." "You fell off the ridge." The man hesitated, eyes darting away. "I slipped." Echo stood guard behind Cole's nose, working furiously. His ears weren't on the injured man anymore. They were on the ravine's upper edge, scanning left and right. "Easy," Cole whispered to him. "We're almost out." But Echo didn't ease. Cole's instincts prickled. Something was wrong. He looked back to the stranger. "What's your name?" The man swallowed. "Aiden." "All right, Aiden. We're going to get you out. Can you move your arms?" "Yes." "Good. I'm going to lift you with his help." Cole jerked his chin toward Echo. "Don't panic when he pushes close." Aiden's eyes widened. "He's military." Something like that. Cole slid his arms under Aiden's back, bracing for the lift. Echo moved into position, steadying himself so Cole could use the dog's body as leverage. 1, 2. Aiden cried out as they brought him upright, but he gritted through it. Cole hauled him against the ravine wall. "Hold on to me," Cole said. "We'll take it slow." They climbed Cole, pushing Aiden upward inches at a time, Echo bracing below, growling encouragement in deep rumbles. Halfway up, Aiden whispered, "You shouldn't have come." Cole paused. What Echo's ears snapped toward Aiden. The man's pupils were blown wide, not just from pain, from fear. "You don't understand," Aiden choked. "It's not safe up here. The flare wasn't for rescue." Cole's blood ran cold. Then what was it? Aiden's breath came out as a cloud of panic. A warning. A branch snapped above them. Echo snarled, low, primal, protective. Cole twisted to look up. A silhouette stood at the ravine's rim, black against the snowlight, taller than Cole. Hooded. Unmoving. Watching. Cole's voice came out rough. Hey, the figure didn't answer. Echo growled, louder tail, straight hackles lifted into a ridge of sharp bristles. Then the silhouette stepped backward. Out of sight. Aiden sagged in Cole's arms. You shouldn't have stopped. You should have kept driving. Cole's jaw clenched. Who was that? I don't know, Aiden whispered. But he was following me long before the storm. The sky went suddenly darker, as if a cloud had swallowed the moon. Cole forced himself to move. We're not dying in this ravine. He heaved Aiden up the last few feet. Echo sprang to the top, planted his front paws, and leaned his full weight into the belt Cole had looped across Aiden's chest. It gave them just enough leverage for Cole to drag Aiden onto flat ground. The moment they were out, Aiden clutched Cole's sleeve. You don't get it. He's not the only one. Cole's pulse hammered. How many? Aiden's lips trembled. I heard them last night. 3, maybe 4. They were looking for something on the ridge. Echo lifted his head, then nose high. He inhaled deep. Cole felt the change instantly. Echo had a scent, a human scent, more than one. He gave 2 sharp barks, alert barks, the kind he'd given Cole only 3 times in the past 2 years. Cole's voice went taut. Where Echo pivoted west toward the mining ruins, Aiden's breathing hitched. No, he begged. You can't take me back there. Cole steadied him. Aiden, why were you up here? The young man shook his head, terrified. I can't. If they know I talked, Echo barked again, louder this time. Movement flickered between the trees, 3 dark shapes fanning out, trying to encircle. Aiden's eyes widened with fresh horror. They found me. Cole's mind snapped into the cold, clean clarity. He hated the clarity he'd learned in Afghanistan. The clarity he thought he'd buried with the uniform. He grabbed Aiden under the arms. We're moving. Now. Aiden whimpered. They'll kill us. Cole's voice lowered into iron. Not while he's with me. Echo barred his teeth. No fear, just purpose. But the shapes kept coming. Cole's heartbeat crashed in his ears. He had 2 choices. Drag Aiden downhill toward the truck, slow, exposed, impossible to defend, or go deeper into the woods, into the blind terrain Echo was built to navigate. Neither option was safe. He exhaled through clenched teeth. Echo. The dog's ears perked. Front, Cole commanded. Echo moved instantly, positioning ahead, ready to cut a path. Cole hoisted Aiden onto his side. Aiden gasped, gripping Cole's jacket. You don't even know what they want. Cole kept moving. I don't care. Echo growled at the approaching shapes. The forest seemed to tighten around them, the dark thickening into something solid. Cole locked the decision in place with a single breath. We're getting out of here, he told Aiden. All of us. Even as 3 shadows closed in from the trees. Echo sprinted ahead, weaving through the trees with a precision that Cole could barely track in the beam of his headlamp. Aiden clung to Cole's shoulder, each uneven step sending a jolt of pain through his broken leg. The forest sloped downward into a narrow cut, a place where the wind screamed through the pines like a freight train. Behind them the shapes followed. Deliberate, coordinated, not hikers, not locals. Hunters of something other than game. Cole, stop. Aiden hissed through clenched teeth. If they hear us, they already heard us. Cole shot back. Echo halted abruptly, body going rigid. His ears pointed to the right toward an older stretch of trail threading between sharp granite outcroppings. He glanced back at Cole, checking, confirming, then took position again. That way, Cole asked. Echo responded with a low grunt, the one he used on tracking runs when he wanted Cole to trust the terrain, even if Cole couldn't see the danger yet. Cole turned. All right, take us. They jogged deeper into the tree line. The pursuit-tightened snow muffled their footsteps, but every sound felt magnified. The rasp of Aiden's breathing, the crunch of branches, the low growls vibrating in Echo's chest. Cole risked a glance back. The shadows behind them weren't running. They were stalking, keeping distance, forming a crescent. He knew that tactic. He'd used it himself once. Cole. Aiden gasped. There's something you need to save it, Cole hissed. Tell me when we're not being hunted. No, Aiden rasped. It matters. He pulled Cole's sleeve weakly. They weren't following me. They were following the signal. Cole frowned. Signal. Aiden squeezed his eyes shut. The flare wasn't from me. It was a locator beacon, not government. Not rescue. Something else. Cole's heart kicked. What kind of beacon? Aiden hesitated. Too long. Echo snarled a short warning. Movement behind them sped up. Cole felt the invisible noose tightening around them. Keep moving, he ordered. Talk while you can. Aiden's voice trembled. The mining site, it wasn't really abandoned. Someone's been digging there again. Illegally. Looking for something. In this storm, they weren't planning the storm, Aiden said. They were planning to find a branch snapped to their right. Echo lunged forward, barking once sharp directional. Left Cole shouted, dragging Aiden with him. They veered into a hollow between two boulders. Echo dove through, first checking each angle. A heavy impact hit the snow behind them, footfall heavier than a man's normal stride. Cole didn't look back. A narrow escape. The hollow funneled into a natural chute, steep but navigable. Cole half slid, half carried Aiden down the slope. Echo ran behind, blocking for them, watching the ridge. When they hit level ground, the trees opened into a frozen creek bed. Echo ran to the center pause, skidding on the ice, then spun to face Cole. "You want us to go on the ice," Cole muttered. "You sure?" Echo didn't move, standing tall in the moonlight, breath steaming in short clouds. He was sure. Cole stepped onto the frozen creek, weight sliding boots, scraping until he found traction. Aiden trembled. "They'll see us." "Yeah," Cole said, "but they'll sink faster than we will." The shadows appeared at the ravine's mouth a moment later. Echo barked low and threatening. The figures paused, watching, measuring. Cole backed away carefully, trying to keep balance. "Don't run," he whispered to Aiden. "Just move with me. Smooth. No sudden shifts." Aiden's voice shook. "Every step hurts." "I know," Cole said softly, "but hurting beats not breathing." Aiden swallowed hard. Who are these people?" Cole didn't answer. He didn't know, but he recognized the way they moved. Not amateurs, not locals, not law enforcement. Something else. And they wanted Aiden badly enough to track him through a mountain storm. The figures stepped onto the ice. Cracks spiderwebbed outward. Cole felt Echo tense. "Run," Cole barked. They sprinted across the ice, each step a gamble. Behind them, the crack widened, a gunshot-like sound, and one of the shadows plunged through, screaming as icy water swallowed him. The others halted. Cole didn't wait to see if they'd try again. He hauled Aiden up the far bank, Echo pulling from the front with his teeth gripping Cole's parka. They made it into the trees again, chests heaving, breath shaking. Aiden collapsed against a log. "You should have left me." Cole crouched, face cold but steady. "That's not how we do things." Aiden laughed, a brittle, broken sound. "What are you, military?" Cole's jaw twitched. "Was." Aiden's eyes flickered to Echo. And him, Echo, leaned forward, sniffing Aiden's chest, then pressed his head gently against the injured man's side. Aiden froze. He's calming me." "Yeah," Cole murmured. "He knows pain." Echo looked up, amber eyes softening. Aiden whispered, "I've never seen a dog like him." Cole didn't respond. That wasn't a story he told. Echo's warning. Echo suddenly stepped back, stiffening. He stared into the trees to the west, ears, pinned body trembling with alert tension. "What do you see?" Cole whispered. Echo lifted his nose, sniffed the air, then growled in a tone Cole had heard only twice before. Not fear, not anger, recognition. Cole's breath hitched. Echo, the dog's gaze didn't move. He was tracking something familiar, a scent he knew. Cole felt a cold weight settle in his stomach. Not fear, not dread, but a terrible, slow understanding. Someone Echo had scented before, recently. Cole. Aiden said weakly, "There's more you need to know." The beacon wasn't the only thing. "What else?" Cole demanded. Aiden's face went ashen. "Someone intercepted it." Who? Aiden shook his head. "I don't know their name, but I heard them on the radio." A man with a calm voice. Too calm. The wind picked up then, sharp biting, carrying another sound on its back. Snow crunching. Heavy footsteps. Not running. Not sneaking. Approaching openly. Cole rose to his feet, heart thudding. Echo took position in front of him, shoulders squared, growl deepening into a rumble that vibrated through the ground. The footsteps came closer. A shadowed figure emerged between the trees, alone, deliberate, unhurried. Not the ones from the ridge. Someone else. A beam of light cut across the snow, a flashlight, and then a voice spoke. "Cole Hayes," the stranger said softly. "I finally found you." Cole froze. Aiden stared in terror. Echo's growl turned into a snarl. The stranger stepped closer. "I believe the man said you have something that belongs to me." Cole felt Echo shift, preparing to strike, and he knew whatever was happening on this mountain wasn't random. It was personal, and it had just reached him. The stranger stopped just inside the tree line, the beam of his flashlight cutting a clean path through the snow. He held it low-angled, not to blind, not to threaten, but to observe. The posture of someone trained. Echo pressed closer to Cole's leg, teeth bared but silent. His tail stood rigid. Every muscle in his frame was coiled. The stranger lifted his free hand, slowly palm outward. "Easy," he said. "I'm not here to hurt anyone." Cole narrowed his eyes. Strange line to open with when you're following a wounded man through a storm. The stranger exhaled a slow, fogged breath. "If I wanted you dead, Cole, you'd never have heard me coming." Aiden whimpered behind him. Don't trust him. Don't. The man's flashlight swung toward Aiden, landing softly on his battered face. You're lucky he found you, the stranger said. Those men weren't going to show mercy. Cole shifted, blocking the beam. Who are you? The man paused as if deciding how honest to be. My name is Aaron Reeve. Cole didn't react, but Echo did. The dog's snarl ripped through the clearing, an uncharacteristic violent sound that Cole had heard only once, the day Echo was rescued. Cole's spine snapped straight. You know my dog. Aaron's eyes flicked to Echo, studying him with a recognition that chilled Cole's blood. I knew his unit, Aaron said. Not him, but I knew what he was trained for. Echo lunged a half-step forward, hackles blazing. Back Cole commanded, voice sharp. Echo froze, but his growl didn't stop. Aaron nodded once. He remembers the scent, even after time. That's impossible, Cole snapped. Aaron lowered the flashlight. Not for a dog like him. Cole felt the forest tilt slightly. Echo wasn't reacting to danger, he was reacting to memory, a scent from the past, a person he recognized, or something associated with him. Aiden clutched Cole's sleeve. Cole, he's lying. Everything they're doing, everything they're looking for, it's because of him. Aaron didn't even look at Aiden. Your friend isn't telling you the truth. Aiden's voice fractured. I didn't have a choice. Cole snapped, both of you. Stop. The cold pressed in the wind, carving new lines across the snow. Cole met Aaron's gaze. Why are you here? Aaron took a slow step forward. To find what Aiden took. Aiden trembled violently. I didn't. I only hid it because Aaron cut him off. You triggered the beacon. No, Aiden whispered. I shut it off. But not before it broadcast your location. Aaron's tone was calm, patient, dangerously so. And not before it alerted the wrong people. Cole stiffened. The men in the ravine. Aaron nodded. The wind howled through the trees, lifting flurries into the air. Cole's voice hardened. So tell me what they're after. Aaron hesitated. He looked at Cole not with hostility, but with calculation. You won't believe me. Try me. Aaron lifted his chin toward Aiden. You want to tell him, kid, or should I? Aiden's breathing hitched. He pressed a hand to his injured leg as if bracing himself. I found something, he whispered. In the mine. Cole stared. Something worth killing you for, Aiden nodded. Aaron added softly, something worth killing anyone for. The truth begins to surface. Cole stepped back, putting Echo between Aiden and the stranger. Start talking. Aiden's swallowed eyes bright with fear. In the old shaft, deeper than any official maps, there was metal. Not old metal, not mining equipment. Cole frowned. Then what? Aiden drew a shaking breath. A structure. Buried. Sealed. Like someone tried to hide it. Cole kept his face still. Hide what? Aiden's gaze snapped to Aaron. His voice shrank to a whisper. A vault. Aaron closed his eyes briefly, as if regretting that the words had been spoken aloud. Cole felt Echo bump against his leg, grounding him. What kind of vault? Cole pressed. Aiden shredded a handful of snow between shaking fingers. I didn't see inside, but I found a panel, and when I touched it, just brushed it, this pulse ran through everything. The floor, the beams. My whole arm went numb. Cole's heart thudded. Electric, no. Aiden shook his head violently. It wasn't electric. It was something else. Aaron spoke, then quiet but firm. It was a resonance lock. Aiden shivered. I didn't know what it meant. I panicked. I ran. The storm hit, the mining scaffolding collapsed, and I barely made it out. And the flare? Cole asked. Aiden's face twisted. I didn't send it. Cole turned to Aaron. So who did? Aaron's jaw tightened. The men you saw. They were close enough to detect the resonance, and they want what's inside. Aaron nodded. Cole's voice dropped. And you, Aaron, didn't hesitate. I want to keep it from them. Aiden barked a bitter laugh. Liar. Aaron didn't look away from Cole. The truth is simple. Whatever's inside that vault was buried for a reason. A damn good one. Cole studied him. He could read men. Aaron believed what he was saying, but belief wasn't trust. Why follow? Aiden, Cole asked. Because he activated the lock, Aaron replied. He connected himself to it. They won't stop. Not until they use him. Use him. How? Aiden's voice cracked. The vault, it responded to me. Like it was reading me. Echo growled again, low warning. Aaron took a step back. I'm not your enemy, Cole. I'm trying to prevent something far worse than a few men on a mountain. Cole didn't blink. You don't walk toward danger unless you're part of it. Aaron's eyes hardened. You still don't remember me, do you? Cole frowned. We've never met. Aaron looked at Echo instead. But he remembers. The dog stiffened again, not reacting to Aaron but to whatever scent was on him, something from the past, from Echo's past. Suddenly Cole felt the air around them shift. Memories pressed at the edge of consciousness but not his. Echoes, a flash of a concrete hallway, the scent of gun oil, a man shouting, a gate slamming. Echo barked sharp, tortured, and stepped forward, shaking. Cole grabbed his collar, grounding him. "Hey, easy, easy." Aaron's voice softened. "Now you understand." No, Cole snapped. "But I'm done talking out here. Either you come with us hands where I can see them, or you stay out of our way." Aiden whispered Cole, "Please." Aaron exhaled. "If you walk away from me now, you walk straight into the hands of the men behind me." Cole turned cold. "So choose your next words carefully." Aaron lifted his hands slowly. "I'm coming with you." Echo snarled at him but allowed him to step closer. A forced alliance. They moved together beneath the dense pines. Echo stayed ahead but kept looking back at Aaron with a distrust Cole had never seen in him. They climbed toward the higher ridge Aiden supported between Cole and Aaron. "You've got 10 minutes, Cole said. "Explain the part you haven't said." Aaron nodded, breath puffing in the cold. Aiden stumbled on something buried since the late 60s. A sealed research site tied to a black-budget program, something no agency will admit existed. Cole's jaw tightened. Military Aaron hesitated. Parallel to it, private, but with government permission. Aiden whispered, "They weren't looking for ore. They were looking for energy." Aaron finished quietly. "Something that could reshape the entire world if it falls into the wrong hands." Echo whined, ears pricking. He sensed something ahead. Cole turned sharply. "What is it?" Echo didn't bark this time. He did something worse. He lay down flat against the snowtail, stiff. A signal he hadn't used since Kandahar. A warning of imminent danger. Not from behind, from in front. Aaron froze mid-step. "Oh God," he whispered. "They're already here." Cole's pulse spiked. "What do you mean?" Aaron pointed toward the ridge, toward the mine entrance. A faint orange glow pulsed from within the collapsed structure, slow, rhythmic, alive. Aiden choked. They opened the lock. Aaron whispered the 4 words that froze Cole's blood. Then were too late. The orange light pulsed like a heartbeat buried under the mountain, steady, unnatural, wrong. Echo crawled forward on his belly muscles, shaking nose, twitching, as if the air itself tasted electric. Cole crouched beside him. "What is that?" Aaron inhaled, sharply, voice thin. "The vault is awake." Aiden whimpered. "I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to activate anything," Aaron hissed. "You touched the resonance panel. Once it reads you, it won't open for anyone else." Cole's gaze hardened. "So they need him alive." Aiden squeezed his eyes shut, only long enough to open it. The cold wind pressed against them, carrying a low hum so faint Cole first mistook it for tinnitus. But Echo heard it instantly. His ears flattened. He crawled backward, tail rigid. Aaron whispered, "They've engaged the power cycle. If they finish it..." Cole snapped, "Stop talking in riddles." "What does it mean?" Aaron looked at him, then really looked, and Cole saw fear. The vault wasn't built to be opened casually. It's not a door, it's a containment system. Whatever's inside, it stayed inside because the world wasn't ready. Cole felt the temperature around him drop. "You're telling me we're standing on top of something dangerous enough to bury under a mountain?" Aaron answered softly, "I'm telling you the men opening it want to weaponize it." A blast of warm air surged from the direction of the mine's collapsed entrance. Echo barked sharp and fearful, skittering back. Cole rose. "We stop them. Now." Aaron's voice cracked. "If we rush in, we don't rush." Cole cut in. "We flank. Echo leads." Echo didn't hesitate. He slid forward, low to the ground, signaling them to follow. The descent to the vault, the mine tunnel, yawned open like a wound. Snow had drifted in, covering shattered beams and twisted metal. Beyond that, a soft orange glow throbbed behind a bend, pulsing like a heartbeat. Cole kept Aiden leaned against him, while Aaron took point behind Echo. The deeper they moved, the more the air changed, less cold, more charged. A metallic tang clung to the back of the tongue. The hum echoed through the tunnel walls. Aiden whispered, "I never went this far. It was sealed." Cole murmured, "Not anymore." Voices drifted toward them, 3 men speaking in clipped tones. "Panels charging, need the subject. Get ready." Aiden stiffened. Aaron grabbed his shoulder. "Don't freeze. You panic, we die." Aiden nodded, shaking. Echo stopped suddenly. He glanced back at Cole, eyes alert, tail still, a signal Cole knew well. Hostile close. Cole mouthed where Echo turned his head right toward a secondary service tunnel, half collapsed. Cole whispered Aaron, take Aiden left. Hide behind the pillars. Aiden clung to Cole's arm. Don't leave me. Cole steadied him. You'll live if you listen. Aaron pulled Aiden into the shadows. Cole pressed a hand to Echo's flank. Let's move. They slipped into the narrow service shaft. The air was hotter here. The hum throbbed through the floor. Footsteps approached from the main tunnel, slow, cautious, deliberate. Cole and Echo pressed against the wall as a man passed the opening armed flashlight sweeping, his breath fogged in the orange glow. Echo didn't bark. He tracked his moment like a sniper. Cole whispered now. Echo launched. Not at the man, but at his rifle. He bit down on the barrel, yanking it sideways. The man shouted, stumbling. Cole sprang forward, slamming him against the rock wall. The rifle clattered to the floor. The man swung, but Cole ducked, grabbed his collar, and drove him down. Echo pinned his wrist with a single paw, teeth inches from the man's face. Cole pressed his forearm under the man's jaw. Speak. The man wheezed. You're too late. For what to stop it? A blinding surge of orange light filled the tunnel. The hum crescendoed. Aiden screamed. Cole jerked toward the sound. Echo snarled, releasing the pinned man and bolting toward the tunnel bend. Echo Cole sprinted after him. The Vault Awakens midpoint reversal. Cole slid around the corner and froze. The vaulted chamber beyond didn't look like any mine he'd ever seen. The stone gave way to smooth metal walls. Pipes ran in perfect symmetry. Conduits pulsed with orange current. And at the center stood a large circular structure, a sealed iris door opening millimeter by millimeter. Aiden was on his knees, hands pressed to the panel. Magic or science, Cole didn't know, but the vault was reacting to his touch. 3 men held Aiden at gunpoint. A 4th adjusted a control unit wired into the wall. Echo stood growling at the threshold, torn between attacking and obeying Cole's unspoken need to assess first. Cole's stomach dropped. This wasn't a rescue. This was a detonation. Aaron appeared beside Cole, breath ragged. That door opens fully. Everything changes. Cole hissed. He's forcing the kid. Aaron shook his head. No. The vault is using him. Aiden's voice cracked through the chamber. I can't pull my hand off. Cole stepped forward. Aiden, the men swung their weapons. Cole dove behind a steel crate as bullets ricocheted off the floor. Echo darted between debris, too quick to be hit. Aaron ducked behind a support beam. Cole, listen, there's a failsafe. If we interrupt the input, the vault seals. So do it, Aaron's face twisted. We need 2 people. 1 to break the link, 1 to kill power. Cole growled. Then let's move. Cole, Aaron added softly. If we're wrong, the feedback could kill him. Cole froze. Aiden cried out in agony, fingers welded to the glowing panel. Echo slid beside Cole, nudging him urgently. Cole's voice broke. Echo, stay. Echo didn't stay. He charged. Echo's second skill showcase. Echo dashed into the chamber, zigzagging so fast the gunman hesitated. He leapt onto the first attacker, crashing him into the vault console. The second attacker fired wildly bullets, sparking harmlessly against the vault's metallic walls. Echo Cole roared. Echo whipped around, planting himself between the shooters and Aiden, his body a living shield. His growl vibrated through the chamber. Aiden screamed again, voice cracking. Cole, help me please. Something inside Cole shattered. Aaron Cole barked. You cut the power. I break the link. Aaron nodded once. Cole sprinted toward Aiden. Bullets rained. Echo intercepted 2 attackers at once, snarling, pushing them back with sheer force of will. His training surfaced in every movement, precision, aggression, held on a leash, unwavering loyalty. Cole reached Aiden's side. Aiden's hands were fused to the panel, fingers trembling violently. I can't let go, Aiden sobbed. Cole grabbed his wrists. Look at me. Aiden lifted watery eyes. You're not alone, Cole said. I've got you. Echo barked short, sharp. Do it now. Aaron shouted from across the chamber. Power down now. He threw a lever. The chamber screamed. Metal shrieked. The vault's glow flickered. Cole felt static rip through his skin. Aiden now, he roared. He pulled. Aiden convulsed. Their hands tore free, and the vault slammed shut with a thunderous metallic blast. A shockwave tore through the room. The attackers were thrown backward. Cole stumbled to one knee. Aiden collapsed, shaking violently. Echo yelped as he was flung against a crate, but scrambled back up instantly. Silence. Then the orange glow died. The mountain went dark. Dark night of the soul. Cole knelt beside Aiden, feeling the boy's chest rise and fall in uneven breaths. Stay with me, Cole whispered. Aiden blinked weakly. You saved me. Cole swallowed hard. We're not done. Aaron limped closer, face pale. You broke the link. The vault is sealed. And the men, Cole asked. Gone, Aaron said. The shockwave threw them deeper into the tunnels. They'll retreat, for now. Cole sat back, exhausted. Echo crawled beside him, pressing his head into Cole's chest. Cole held him tight, burying his face in the dog's fur. He whispered into Echo's ear, "Good boy, you saved him." Echo's tail thumped, once weak but proud. Cole looked at Aaron. "This isn't over." Aaron nodded grimly. "No. Now that the vault reacted to Aiden once, they'll never stop hunting him." Cole ran a hand down Echo's neck. "Then we protect him." Aaron hesitated. "There's something else." Cole stiffened. "What?" Aaron gestured to the sealed vault. The lock reset. There's a countdown cycle. Cole's blood ran cold. What kind of countdown? Aaron met his gaze with quiet dread. 24 hours. After that, it opens automatically. Cole stared at the cold metal structure, at the mountain humming beneath them, at Aiden, exhausted, terrified, and at Echo, who had chosen to stand between danger and the boy without hesitation. The room felt suddenly small. Cole straightened resolve settling like iron in his chest. "Then we've got 1 day," he said. 1 day to stop a second activation. He looked at Echo. "You ready, partner?" Echo nudged, his hand eyes fierce. Cole rose. "Then we move." They had 24 hours, and the mountain had just become a clock. The vault chamber had gone still, dead still, but Cole could feel the mountain humming beneath them. Not a sound, not vibration, a presence, as if something below was breathing slow, icy breaths. 24 hours. Echo nudged Cole's hand, grounding him. Aiden leaned against the wall, pale, trembling, his palms blistered where the panel had fused to his skin. Aaron watched the sealed vault with a look that was part awe, part dread. Cole broke the silence first. "We're not dying in this hole." Echo's tail flicked agreement. Aaron swallowed. "We'll need shelter. A defensible position. When those men regroup, they won't wait." Cole cut in. "They'll strike before dark." Aiden's voice was faint. "They want me alive." Right, Cole didn't soften the truth. Alive enough. Aiden's face crumpled. Echo growled, soft, protective. Cole leaned down. "Listen, kid, you survived the fall. You survived the vault. You're still here. You stay with us, you'll make it through the rest." Aiden nodded, biting back a sob. Cole turned to Aaron. "We move now. Before they circle back, climb to the ridge ticking clock begins." They exited the vault chamber, Echo, clearing each corner before Cole advanced. The tunnel walls pulsed, faintly residual energy bleeding off the sealed door. Aiden limped between the two men, leaning heavily. Aaron whispered, "When the countdown finishes, the vault doesn't just open." Cole stopped. "Explain." Aaron inhaled shakily. "It releases whatever is inside to the surface. The system forces pressure outward. A containment purge." Cole stiffened. "An explosion, not fire," Aaron said. "A shockwave, resonance-based." Cole lifted a hand. "We stop it before it starts." Echo barked once affirmation. They reached the surface as the early morning light met the storm clouds above. The world was washed in pale gray-blue snow glittering like cold dust. The air carried a coppery tang pressure building deep in the mountain's bones. Cole checked his watch. 22 hours left. "Move," he whispered. They pushed through the forest. Echo stayed ahead, weaving silently between trees, scouting, mapping, scent trails, testing the air. When the ridge came into view, he halted and turned. Cole froze. Tracks. Echo lowered his muzzle to the snow, then lifted his head sharply. Human. 4 distinct scents. Close. Aaron exhaled. "They're setting up a perimeter." Aiden slumped. "We're trapped." Cole grabbed his jacket. "Not trapped." He pointed to the slope above, steep, rocky, half hidden by hard-packed snow. Unpredictable. 3 beat escalation, beat 1 ambush. They climbed the incline slowly, Echo checking every few yards. A gust of wind carried a metallic click, too clean to be wood, too sharp to be rock. Aiden whispered gun safety. Cole nodded once. "They're close." Echo pressed against Cole's leg, steady, bracing. Cole signaled silently, low, slow, left flank. Echo understood instantly. They crept toward a cluster of boulders. Snow had gathered between them in deep pockets. Cole scanned the gaps. A shadow flickered. "Down," he barked. Gunfire erupted, staccato bursts chewing into the stone above Cole's head. Echo lunged sideways, dragging Aiden behind a fallen log. Aaron dove behind a stump, shouting, "2 on the ridge." Cole rolled, bringing Aiden with him, adrenaline turning the cold air razor sharp. Echo launched himself at the shooter's blind angle, silent as a phantom. His paws barely touched the snow. He hit the first attacker in the side, knocking him backward down the slope. The rifle skidded across ice and vanished into a crevice. The second gunman swung his weapon. Cole flanked him, crashing into his knees. The man toppled. Echo whirled, snarling teeth flashing inches from the attacker's throat. Cole hissed, "Echo, hold." Echo froze, poised but controlled. Aaron caught his breath. "Your dog is unreal." Cole didn't answer. "Strip their comms. Move." Beat 1 ended with the men subdued, but the radio crackled before Aaron smashed it. Unit 3 down. Regroup near the ridge. Initiate Phase 2. Cole's stomach dropped. "Phase 2, Aiden whispered. "They're bringing the equipment. The kind that taps into the vault remotely." Cole clenched his jaw. "They're not opening that vault again." 3 beat escalation, beat 2, the ridge assault. They followed the narrow path upward. The storm clouds thickened, turning the sky a strange greenish blue. The wind carried the faint hum again, the vault counting down beneath their boots. Echo led them onto a high ridge, a long exposed ledge with steep drops on both sides. At the far end lay the remains of an old mining pulley station. Aaron froze. "They're here." 3 men, black jackets, dark visors, cables running from a heavy trunk to a handheld device glowing faint orange, a remote resonance key. Aiden gasped. "They're going to force an override before the countdown finishes." Aaron grabbed Cole's arm. If they trigger it manually, Cole didn't need the rest. The vault opened, the purge released. Everything within miles changed forever. Cole stepped forward. "Echo. Pattern Delta." Echo glanced back at him, eyes locking. Pattern Delta meant 2 things: distract, disable, do not kill. Echo bolted across the ridge, zigzagging so fast the men couldn't track him. They fired shots, ricocheting off stone. Echo slid under a burst, sprang off a boulder, and slammed into the closest attacker, knocking the override device loose. Cole sprinted after him, snow spraying from his boots. Aaron and Aiden stayed low, ducking behind the pulley station's frame. The third gunman lunged for the remote key. Cole tackled him, sending both skidding toward the ledge. The man jammed an elbow into Cole's ribs. Cole grunted, rolled, and pinned the attacker with his forearm. The override device buzzed on the ground, its screen flashing warnings: secondary link initiated vault, access 21 hours. 13 minutes, Aiden screamed, "Cole, it's sinking!" Cole drove his fist into the gunman's jaw. Echo collided with the second man, ripping the cable out of the trunk. Sparks burst. The device powered down instantly. Aaron shouted from the back, "Cole behind you!" Cole spun, but too late. The third attacker leveled a pistol at his chest. Echo threw himself in front of Cole. The shot fired. Echo yelped, crumpling sideways. Echo's decisive intervention. The world snapped into silence. Cole lunged toward Echo, but the shooter grabbed him, pressing the pistol to Cole's jaw. "Stay down now." Cole's vision went red. Ice-cold, controlled fury rose inside him, an old ghost, unwelcome but alive. Echo lay in the snow chest, rising shallowly. The bullet had grazed his shoulder, blood staining the white beneath him. The gunman cocked the weapon again. Aiden screamed, "Stop, stop, please." Cole didn't beg. He waited for one moment, one shift, one mistake. The gunman made it. He looked at Aiden. Cole twisted hard, grabbing the attacker's wrist, forcing the gun barrel away. He slammed his head backward, cracking the man's nose. The attacker stumbled, firing wildly into the sky. Cole ripped the gun free. He hurled it off the ridge. The gunman collapsed unconscious. Cole ran to Echo, dropping to his knees. "Hey, hey, look at me!" His voice broke. "Echo, come on!" Echo whined softly, licking Cole's wrist, his way of saying, "Still here." Aaron rushed over, assessing the wound. The bullet didn't lodge. Through and through. He'll limp, but he'll live. Cole almost collapsed with relief. Aiden sobbed behind them. I'm so sorry, it's my fault." Cole looked up sharply. "Stop! He protected you because he chose to. That's who he is." Echo nudged Aiden's knee gently, even in pain. Aaron rose, staring at the battered override device. "It's dead, but they'll bring another." "We stopped Phase 2, but not Phase 3. Cole stood. "Then Phase 3 ends with us." 3 beat escalation, beat 3, confronting the leader. As they descended from the ridge, the wind shifted. Snow whirled unnaturally, forming a vortex around the broken tree line. A shadow stepped through the mist. Tall, calm, unhurried. The leader. He walked as if the storm parted for him. Cole stepped forward. "It's over." The man smiled faintly. "On the contrary, the countdown accelerates every time it's interrupted." Aiden gasped. "It speeds up. 18 hours remain, the leader said. Enough if we work together. Cole's jaw tightened. Not happening. The man's gaze drifted to Echo, bleeding, trembling, but still standing. A remarkable animal, he said. Military grade, loyal to the end. Cole's voice iced over. He's with me, and the boy is with me. The leader lifted a small device, sleek, glassy, humming, faint orange. A portable resonance key. Aiden stumbled backward. No, Cole. The leader pressed a button. Aiden screamed and collapsed, clutching his skull. Echo lunged instinctively. Cole grabbed him, barely holding him back. Aaron shouted. The vault imprinted on Aiden's biofrequency. He can control pain responses through the linked signal, Cole roared. Let him go. The leader tilted his head. Then give me the dog. Cole went cold. Never. The leader sighed. A shame. He's the only thing that could keep you in line. Echo snarled a broken, furious sound. Aiden writhed. Cole's vision tunneled. Echo tugged forward again, not at Aiden, not at the leader, but at Cole. His tail lifted. His ears pointed. One sharp bark. A command proposal. Echo asking permission, let me. Cole's voice cracked. Go, Echo charged. Not at the leader, but at the resonance key. He bit down on the device, shattering it in one explosive crunch. Aiden gasped, pain vanishing instantly. The leader froze, stunned. No, Cole tackled him. They collided hard, rolling across the snow. The leader fought dirty, grabbing Cole's injured side, driving an elbow into his throat. But Cole rose above him, pinning him with raw force born from fury and fear. You're done, Cole growled. Aaron seized the man's bag, pulling out the spare device, and smashed it against a tree trunk until it shattered. The leader went still. Without those, Aaron said breathless, he can't access the vault. It's over. Cole released the man, letting him fall unconscious into the snow. Aiden collapsed beside Echo, sobbing relief. Cole crouched, lifting Echo's face gently. You saved him. Saved all of us. Echo leaned into Cole's chest, exhausted, breathing hard. Cole rested his forehead against the dog's. It's over, partner. Aaron stood behind them, looking toward the mountain. No, he said quietly. Now it begins. Cole turned. Speak. Aaron's voice shook. The vault is sealed, but only temporarily. With the devices destroyed, there's no remote shutoff. Cole's throat tightened. What does that mean? Aaron swallowed hard. It means we have 18 hours to get off this mountain before it opens on its own. Echo lifted his head, licking Cole's chin. Cole rose, hoisting Aiden's arm over his shoulder. Then we move, Cole whispered, all the way down. He looked at Echo. You ready? Bleeding, limping, exhausted? Echo barked once. Ready. Together they began the long descent toward whatever waited in the dawn. Dawn reached the valley long before Cole's group did. By the time they emerged from the last switchback, the storm had lifted completely. Snowmelt dripped from the pines in slow, steady taps. The sky was a soft, slate blue warming to a pale gold along the horizon. It looked peaceful, too peaceful for what waited beneath the mountain. 18 hours. Cole could feel the countdown in the ache of his ribs and the stiff pull of Echo's bandaged shoulder as the shepherd limped faithfully at his side. Aaron walked slightly ahead, already calling his contacts. Aiden, shaken but alive, stayed close, glancing often at Echo, unable to hide the gratitude in his eyes. They reached the gravel turnout where their vehicles waited. The valley below stretched wide and clean, untouched by the vault's hidden storm. Cole listened to the quiet, memorizing it. Echo pressed against his leg, leaning his full weight, exhausted but still alert. Aiden eased onto a rockhead in his hands. I feel like I should say something, he whispered, but nothing seems enough. Cole crouched in front of him. You survived something bigger than any of us understand yet. Sometimes that's all you can do. Survive the worst day, one at a time. Aiden nodded, wiping his eyes. Aaron pocketed his phone. Extraction team from Denver is en route. They'll contain the site. They'll handle the vault when it opens. Cole studied him. Will they be ready? Aaron hesitated. Truth, no one's ever ready. But they'll try. Echo shifted, his weight, ears twitching. Cole looked down and ran a hand gently along the shepherd's neck. Hey, he murmured. You did more than try. Echo licked his wrist, slow and deliberate. Aiden's voice trembled. Cole, you're going to stay with him, right? Cole considered the question. Not the logic. He knew the logic. He was thinking of the feel of Echo's fur under his hand, of the steady heartbeat he felt through the dog's ribs when the world narrowed to a single terrified moment, of how Echo never once hesitated, not on the ridge, not in the snow, not when the gun rose. A partner doesn't leave a partner. Yeah, Cole said softly. I'm staying, as long as he'll have me. Echo leaned into him, answer enough. Minutes drifted by in quiet, the kind that felt earned. Finally, Aaron spoke. When they asked me to study the vault, I used to think the job was about understanding what was inside. But now, he glanced toward Echo. Now I think the real danger was always what we bring with us. Fear, ambition, secrets. Cole nodded. And the real strength is what walks beside us. Aiden lifted his head. What happens after today? Cole stood, stretching the stiffness from his shoulders. We get him stitched up. We rest. Then, he looked out toward the valley, where sunlight spilled across the plain like a quiet promise. Then we figure it out. Together. Aaron managed a small smile. A strange team. The best kind, Cole replied. A distant rumble echoed from the mountain, not thunder this time, but a deep, shifting sigh, as if the earth itself were waking. Echo's ears pricked. The hair along his spine rose slightly. Cole rested a calm hand on his head. We're not going back up, he whispered. We did what we came to do. The shepherd exhaled, leaning into the touch. They loaded into their vehicles as the sun crested the horizon. The first true light of the day broke over the valley, catching the snow in gold, scattering the shadows, revealing a world that for now was still whole. Cole started the engine. Echo settled into the passenger seat, resting his chin on Cole's knee. For the first time in years, Cole didn't feel the urge to drive anywhere fast or far. He felt the weight of purpose instead, steady, grounded, shared. As they pulled onto the road, the mountain loomed behind them like a silent monument. Beneath it, something ancient waited to rise. But Cole didn't look back. He kept his eyes forward, one hand on the wheel, the other resting gently on Echo's neck. 2 survivors, 2 soldiers, 1 road ahead, and the light kept growing. End.